Organized in 1924 in the Parchment Community House under the leadership of the late Jacob Kindleberger, founder of the Kalamazoo Vegetable Parchment Company, now known as the Brown Company, when the company decided in 1953 to sell the community house, the church availed itself of the opportunity to buy it. Although dreams of a church-like structure existed, the time was not yet suitable for such a big undertaking. However, in 1964, the trustees decided to make the dreams of many members of the congregation come true. The church had held real estate since 1934 in anticipation of building a new church. After the architect's drawings were approved, groundbreaking services were held, and from 1964 to 1966, the church held its services in the Parchment High School. The new building was consecrated on Sunday, November 27, 1966, with Bishop Dwight E. Loader officiating. The church is now known as the Parchment United Methodist Church. Mortgages totaling $220,000 were required to see the project through the completion. In May of 1980, the mortgage was paid in full, and the church was debt-free for the first time.
In 1956, my dad worked at KVP, and they closed the plant in 1956, and the employees that wanted to come up moved up here to Michigan, and that's how our family ended up here. We got a house on Parchment, which they were building houses for the employees of people at KVP. Actually, when I came here, I was a 7th grader, so ended up singing in the junior choir. And then later on, when I got older, I was part of the adult choir. And then I remember coming over here to sled on the hill before the church was built.
In 5th grade, we had activities, but the main focus was when we did join the Methodist Church. And I was so excited. I could attend dance. We did that. People in the community held some sessions here. We also had Girl Scouts that I could attend 5th grade through 8th grade. The community house was very impressive to me. It was a gorgeous building, wood halls, and I remember walking in from Riverview, and our Sunday school classes were to the left. It would be to the north. There were also times downstairs when we had the choir practice, and we also had a huge room that had basketball hoops, and I was so impressed because it was pretty much the size of any basketball court around. I graduated from Parchment High School in '65. I still sang in this church choir for many years. I met my husband in college. We married in 1969.
I have vague recollection of attending church at the Parchment High School while this church was being built back in the 60s. And I attended church here with both my grandparents and my parents. My grandpa, Grandpa Ronnie, worked for Jake Kindleberger down at the mill in Parchment. And my parents, Bev and Russ DeBoer, attended here for years and years and years. And this was their social hub, and enjoyed bridge club and dances and dinners and potlucks. And my mom was a big volunteer here, spent a lot of her time here. My dad was a trustee, so he spent a lot of time building things around the church, repairing things around the church, and working on the parsonage. And my mom, again, she volunteered a lot of time here at the church. She really enjoyed her time in the kitchen, and she was active in the Busy Bees, which they worked on crafts to sell at the annual holiday bazaar every year. And that was one of her favorite events, was the holiday sale.
The XYZ Sue Catton started because her mother was elderly and she wanted her mother to be active. So she started this XYZ club that met on a Wednesday once a month. I was here when they started the bazaar, and it was a huge success. Our kids, when they were little, have always enjoyed the park because we lived not too far from it.
I'm not one of the earliest people in this church, as I said, because I started in 1970, but I was fortunate to come at a time when the founding members of this church, moving it from the community house, which unfortunately, I'm sorry, I never got to see or know much about, that most of the people that built this church, that worked at doing it, were still going here to this church, and I become very good friends with them, despite the difference in age, and I always appreciated that. Things I remember when I came to this church is that we had 3 young children, my wife and I, and that there was all kinds of opportunities for them. We had a good youth group, we had a men's club, and it was really an opportunity to get to know the people in the church, the men in the church. It's been enjoyable because of the opportunities and the things that it gave me to do and the people I got to know. I sit in church now, and I remember where some of these older people sat. And I miss them. That's about it.